We received word last week about a lawsuit on file in Wood County. Today, we spoke with one party involved to give you more information. The lawsuit was filed against Wood County Board member Deborah Hendershot. It's asking the court to void and nullify her appointment because she was allegedly not a resident of District C at the time she was appointed. She was appointed by the board to fill a seat that was left vacant by Sarah Townsend after Townsend stepped down for health reasons. Hendershot was a former BOE member who resigned from her seat to run for magistrate during the spring of 2024. The petition claims that her appointment puts 3 members of the board in District A, which is in violation of West Virginia Code. Chad Conley, the petitioner who filed the lawsuit, says he hopes the court will see her address change was not legitimate because it wasn't done until after her appointment.
This isn't about me. I applied for the appointment. I ran for the Board of Education. I obviously want a seat on the Board of Education, but this isn't about me. It's about the Board of Education having some integrity and doing the right thing by the people. There was 14 other candidates besides myself from District C that would have been good choices. They were all very well qualified and capable candidates, but they chose to knowingly appoint somebody that did not live in the correct district.
As of now, a court date has not been set. We have reached out to the Board of Education and Hendershot about the filing. We are still waiting for a response from the board's legal counsel. We will continue to follow this story and provide updates as they become available.